This is Chapter 2 of Muscle and a Shovel by Michael Shank. It's titled An Unexpected Friendship, August 3rd, 1987, 7.5 months earlier. The Shell Convenience Mart at the corner of 17th and Broadway was packed that Monday morning, but no other place else would do. The routine stop had become a comfortable start of every work week. Standing in line, I glanced down at the newspapers neatly positioned in their respective racks and caught the bold headlines predicting Mike Tyson's KO against the Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist Tyrell Biggs in the upcoming fight. Tyson is a machine, thinking to myself as I collected the change from the Shell cashier, who clearly needed more coffee herself. After paying for gas, coffee, and a bear claw, I strolled to the car to finish the morning commute. It was only 7 more blocks north. The Mid-South's August morning air was already humid, and my crisp, heavily starched, long-sleeve white business shirt was feeling slight damp with perspiration. Business etiquette in the South called for starched, long-sleeve shirts year-round, and real pros wore white undershirts under their dress shirts. I was not quite a real pro yet. As I pulled out of the Shell parking lot onto 17th, a redneck almost took the front quarter panel off my car, missing me by only a few inches. I slammed my brakes, looking up just in time to see him shoot me the bird while whizzing around the front end of my car. We were known in the South for our hospitality, so I hospitably returned the gentleman a Hollywood howdy of my own. Life in the big city. Well, at least the coffee was still in the cup, being held inside with a plastic sipper lid. The bear claw was not so lucky, being out of arm's reach on the passenger side floorboard and face down on GM floor mats. "Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff," I said out loud to no one, then turned up the radio and made my way up 17th Avenue. Peter Gabriel's song Big Time was playing on the radio. It was a song supremely fit to the 80s mentality. OSI Data Solutions Incorporated was a company generating about $20 million in yearly revenues, and our business was classified in the graphic arts industry. OSI did a couple of things very well. They sold printing presses and peripheral camera equipment, which are cameras that made plates for printing presses, and they sold paper by the trainloads. The company also had several internal departments. One department sold smaller printing systems called mimeograph machines, and they sold them to schools, offices, and churches. Lots of churches. Janetta and I had moved to Nashville with a specific plan. We wanted to build a life together, and I wanted to go to college at the same time. Nashville was a booming city only 3 hours from our small hometown in southern Illinois. It seemed to be the right fit for our future. We could build a life together in the city. I could obtain a formal education, chase the dream, eventually get hired by a big software manufacturer, transfer to the West Coast, and become the CEO and make truckloads of cash. A perfect plan. What we did not know about Nashville was that it, like many American cities, held some interesting secrets. One secret of Nashville was that the music industry was its second biggest industry. How could music in the country music capital of the world take a back seat to something else and the world not know about it? What was Nashville's secret number one industry? An industry bigger than country music. Printing. Nashville was a printing giant, and I had not a clue. Actually, most people did not know. Now I was involved in Nashville's number one industry, and it did not even require picking a guitar. OSI Data Solutions also had other internal divisions that sold a variety of systems used by hospitals in their patient admissions departments, machines used by banks to make credit cards, and office equipment like paper cutters, folders, shredders, laminators, and the like. Everything sold from under the OSI roof had to be installed and tested. Customers required training, and all equipment required follow-up service. This is where I came in. My official title was Technical Service Engineer. I was factory certified on a plethora of OSI's thingamabobs. If OSI sold it, I could fix it. I would arrive each day a little before 8 a.m. to review the day's agenda and leave the office around 8:30 to go into the field. I would usually be back at the office around 4 p.m. The last hour of the day revolved around paperwork and administrative duties. My territory map looked like a triangular wedge. Put a pencil on Nashville, draw a line straight to the east, and then end at Cookeville. Then draw a straight line southwest, stop at Pulaski, and then draw a straight line north, ending back in Nashville. It was a huge region that had 17 hospital accounts and over 200 church accounts. All required monthly service calls. A big salary, full accompaniment of corporate benefits, a car allowance, expense account, a liberal commission program, all expense paid factory certification trips, quarterly reviews, performance bonuses, and a college tuition cooperative reimbursement program for employees. It was a fantastic job for a 20-year-old. Wait a minute, it was a fantastic job for a 40-year-old. OSI Data's customers parked on the side lot, which meant that employees had to park at the rear of the building. The front of the building acted as a buttress against Charlotte Avenue. There was no real front parking area. Parking in the back required employees to enter through the office building's back door, located by the loading docks at shipping and receiving. All OSI employees used this one particular door to get to their offices. I entered the back door that Monday morning with my coffee in one hand and my pseudo-lawyer-looking briefcase in the other. There was that guy again. He was upbeat, smiling, and working at his consistent, above and beyond pace. There was something different about him, but I just could not put my finger on it. As I began to weave my way through the myriad of S&R pallets hustling to get to my department office with only a few minutes to spare, someone hollered, "Hey man, what's your name?" I looked back toward the direction of the voice, not really having the time to make friends. It was that guy. I stopped in my tracks as he approached. I responded while sticking out my hand. "Michael Shank, Mike, and you are?" "Randall Edges. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mike." He shook my hand in what I call a hand sandwich. That is when someone shakes your one hand with both of theirs, so that their two hands are the bread, your one hand is the meat. Randall was different than the others that worked in shipping and receiving, and for a host of reasons. This young African-American man had a natural confidence and an award-winning smile that could set an executioner at ease. While the other guys in shipping and receiving seemed to shuffle around as though work was the last thing on their minds, Randall seemed to be that guy that loved his job. 80s yuppies would have called Randall a mover and shaker. While the others looked disheveled, Randall was always intact with and immaculate in appearance. It was as if he was covertly wealthy and his job in S&R was just something to do for fun. I had never met a man that seemed so out of place as Randall. He was in his early 30s, clean-cut, slim build, married with children, physically fit, and far too intelligent for his current departmental employment. Additionally, his attitude revealed a bulletproof exterior. "Since you are my new friend, I'm going to give you something," Randall exclaimed. That's really nice, but we just met and you really don't have to." Randall quickly turned and walked to his desk, ignoring me. He tore off a paper towel, reached into a green and white box sitting on his desk, and pulled out 2 hot Krispy Kreme donuts. Wearing a broad smile, he brought the donuts over to me, and in the most humble way said, "Mr. Mike, I hope you enjoy these. I might even have something better for you a little later." He then turned and walked away in a flash behind a stack of boxes before I could thank him. What a friendly and weird guy. For Randall, my name that day forth would be Mr. Mike. 2 hot Krispy Kremes trumped a Shell Station Bear Claw any day of the week, and the sugar rush made me totally forget the redneck salute flung at me earlier that morning. But what did Randall mean? I might even have something better for you a little later. We had just met. We didn't know each other. I had not yet developed any latent skepticism of humanity, nor did I possess any suspicions about the possibility of ulterior motives, so I went about the day. However, Randall had an ulterior motive.